Hey y'all, so I'm going to show you in this video how I put on my corsets for corset training. And I ain't going to do too much talking because I'm going to be talking to you guys in another video where I go into detail about it. I did make a video that I recorded several months ago, like in September, October of last year, that I just uploaded in January or February or something. But I'm going to go ahead and add on to that video because I didn't touch on everything. But aside from that, I'm going to go ahead and get started with this. In the second video that I do make, I will talk more about the corset that I have and where it is from. But now I'm going to show you how I put it on. So I'm going to show you how to determine with this particular corset the top from the bottom. How I determine the top from the bottom. Number one, the bottom of corsets, of steel-boned underbust corsets, will usually have a rounded bottom, or it's not as, the bottom is not going to be as pronounced as the top. So the curvature on the top is going to go in more of a W shape, you know, because it fits under your bust. So you can see the top, the shape of the top is, it's hard to see, but it is more pronounced than the bottom. And another way that I also determine the top from the bottom is the tag is in the top with this particular corset. And you can see on this corset, it is a flat front. There's no front bust on this corset. The back does have steel grommets, which are these eyelets that they're called grommets, okay? From where the laces do come out. The laces, it's one long lace, and it comes pre-laced, and it's tied at the bottom. This knot is not, I don't take this knot out because I don't want to have to try to figure out how to lace my corset back up. So it is laced in the back. And here we have the front. This has been broken in, so that's why you already see the curve in it. And I'm just going to show you how I put it on. Now what I do, I hold it up so that this is the top. See, the tag is here. So I hold it up, and then I just put my arms in, put both of my arms in. So my hands come out where the top is. There's that tag. I don't know if you can see it. Tag. So I have my hands coming out of the top, okay? And then there's this panel here. I don't think I mentioned, but this panel is here for a reason. It helps to protect your skin from the laces, and it also helps make the back look smoother so that it's all one color, and I'm sure it serves other purposes, but I'm not getting into that. I'm just going to put it on. So like I said, I have my hands through. I put it over my head, and I put one arm in. Okay, so I have one arm in, and then once I have that arm in, I just pull the other arm in, and I pull it down. Okay? Hope you guys saw that okay. I just push one arm all the way in and pull the corset down, and then I push the other arm in and pull it down. And I'm sorry, I failed to mention, I always wear a liner, which is this camisole tube top, tank top, under my corset. You need to protect your skin from the corset, and you need to protect the corset from your skin, from the oils on your skin. So that's why I always wear this liner. And I generally wear my corset under my clothing, and sometimes I'll wear it on top. If I do, I still, sometimes I actually will still wear the liner and then my shirt, but you don't have to if you wear it on top of your clothing. And another thing I do a lot is when I wear this liner, I tuck it into my pants before I put the corset on. But let's go ahead and get started. Now I have the corset on. You can see more how that curvature at the top is versus the bottom. Okay, and so here is the back. And the first thing I'm going to do is take this panel in the back and try to straighten it out. I want to make sure that it's not underneath, that it's not flipping out from any of the laces, okay? I'm just going to straighten it out as much as possible for now. And now what I'm going to do, get a little closer so I can show you. Right? Let's see. You see how the grommets or the eyelets, there is one lace coming out of each one, and it crosses over to the other side. there is one area on each side where, as you can see, this lace goes from one and it connects to the next one down, okay? I'm going to take that loop coming from those two and grab it. Do the same for the other side, okay? And now what I do is I just pull a little on these two loops, and then I'm going to hold them in front of me with my thumb. While I'm holding them in front of me, I go back in and I straighten this panel up, because this panel has a tendency to bunch and to get stuck flipping through the laces. If you actually put one of these on, you'll probably experience it. So and what I try to do is do this in a mirror so I can see what I'm doing. I try to make sure this corset is straight as well when you put it on. You need to make sure that everything lines up in the back so that it's perfectly lined up. And how I line mine up is I make sure the center is lined. And I also want to make sure it's lined up and not crooked this way. You make sure it's straight across on the top and the bottom, which you'll be able to see more as you lace. So I have my loops on the sides, and I have my panel lined up as much as possible. And what you're going to do with these loops, well, the first thing I do is I pull more in the middle this way. But you don't want to do it this much this way when you initially get your corset, but I do it this way just to get the laces going. Each time I go through, I'm fixing this panel, because once your corset breaks in, this panel is going to start to shift. Okay? So I'm just going to continue to adjust it so that it's straight across. Once you get the hang of it, it just takes a couple of minutes to put this on. So once I have it straight this time, what I'm going to do, this loop that I have, there's a top. You see one lace comes out of the top from it, one comes out of the bottom. I start from the bottom, grab that lace that comes from the bottom, and I'm going to do it on each side. I'm going to grab the lace that comes from that bottom grommet, and I'm going to pull. Okay, I'm grabbing this lace, I'm holding it. I pull it down hard first, and then as I pull the laces together, I pull up, like so. So I've done that, and just double check my panel again. I'm sorry, I'm really anal about the panel because I don't want it to be bunched. Now mine's going to look crooked from the back just because I'm turned a little so I can see what I'm doing. But from the front, you see I'm still lined up straight, okay? So once you've taken your laces from the bottom and pulled, now we're going to take the lace from the top grommet on each side. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hold those laces. So I grab these laces and I pull down and out. And at this point, see, I need to adjust this panel one last time. I do this because when that panel bunches, it can irritate your skin. Okay? After you've done this one time, see how comfortable you feel with it being this tight. If you feel like you can go a little more, then we'll go a little more. If you feel comfortable just doing the lacing once, that's fine. You also want to grab the laces from here. I grab from the top, from not the very top lace, but second to the top, and pull down. That's going to tighten it some more. Grab the next one down, and then pull down. Okay? Then I take the top lace, the lace coming from the top, and I pull down some more just to secure it. You can see how much tighter that got. I do the same for the bottom. I find the bottom lace and I go up one and I pull. As I pull, of course, I'm holding. Then I find the lace, the next one, and I pull. and then I grab my laces that are coming from the bottom grommet and pull to secure. You can see even more shrinkage. I'll come back to a distance so you can see what it looks like, okay? Now for me, this is the point where I stop lacing, because this is the point where if I go any tighter, I will be too uncomfortable to make it through the day with this on. So if you feel you can go a little tighter, that's fine. I want you to see how far this is closed, okay? I still have some space in between here in the back. It's not fully closed. When it's fully closed, that's when you size down. So what I'm going to do is take my laces and I crisscross them to tie, just like I would tie a shoe. Okay? And I literally loop them and make a bow, just like as if I were tying a shoe. I make sure that I grab inside of that loop because you don't want it to tangle. And I just pull so that the laces are even. And I'm left with the tail dangling in the back. If I'm wearing this over my clothes, I leave the tail hanging. If I'm wearing it under my clothes and I tuck this undershirt in, what I do is I tuck it into my pants. Like that. Some people tuck it under the laces. I don't do that. I tuck it into my pants. I don't think there's necessarily a right or wrong way. That's just my preference. So you can see the silhouette this particular corset gives. This is a training corset. That's exactly what this is called. You can see the length, how it comes right under my bust, over my rib cage, and it stops right at the top of my hips. And you can see it didn't completely flatten my stomach, because that's not what these do. They're not for flattening your stomach. They're for shaping your actual waist, your ribs, and compressing your internal organs. They also lift here, as you can see. These went up. So just showing it to you how I lace. So I showed you how to put this on. Now I'm going to show you how to take it off. I mentioned in a previous video for women who have very large breasts, will want to wear the corset with a front bust closure like this one. That is because when it comes time to take it off and put it on, you just open the bust. You put it on like this, wrap it around. Well, you always want to make sure your laces are loose before you put it on. So loosen the laces, wrap it around, close it in the front, then lace it. And taking it off is much easier, because all you have to do is loosen your laces again and then snap it open. It's much easier than trying to pull it over your head when you have very large breasts. So I will show you how I take this off, because it can be tricky and difficult to do it by yourself. So what I do, I have my laces in the back. I just make sure I grab them and separate them the way I tied them. So you see I tied them just like when you tie shoes. You have your laces on, you have your bow, and you have the bow on one side and then the end on one side. So you grab your two sides, and then I have one section that's a little shorter. One of the laces is a little shorter than the rest. See? I grab that shorter one. I come on this side and I find the shorter one, because there's going to be one on this side that's shorter than the rest as well. So once I have the two short laces here, then I just pull them, okay, to loosen it up. They should come loose very easily, okay? They should come loose just as easy as they did for me. And then I just grab my knot and unwrap it. It's important that you do untie it the way I just showed you, because if not, you may end up with a knot, because you don't have ends. All you have is loops. So you need to make sure you grab the right loops. So now back to unlacing. So I just go in the middle and I start to pull out the laces. start from the top and then I alternate. I do one at the top and then I come down and I loosen from the bottom. As you pull them out of the back, you see your loops on the sides get shorter. So then I just move up and I loosen this one. And then I just keep going from the top now. And there it goes, it released. And then I go back to the bottom and I start to loosen those up some more. Okay. And then I pull it apart. Now what I do is I swirl it around like that. So the back is in the front is in the back. Okay? This is so I can see what I'm doing. So now I see I still have my ends, my loops. I want to make sure these loops are flat against this again. So I'm going to continue to loosen the laces just by pulling and then spreading. Wherever they feel tight, I loosen them. And then you see these loops are gone. They're flat against the corset again. Okay? So once I have this loose, so all of the laces are the same length across, I twist it back around and now it's time to take it off. So how I take it off, I just start to pull over my breast and I make sure I keep my bra on for this, okay? Pull over them as high as I can. High as I can. See? In the back too. And then I grab here on this side. We're grabbing on the left side with my right hand and I'm shimmying, and then I do the same, grab on the right side with my left hand. Gotta shimmy out. And then I just keep alternating until I get it over my head. And I'm just careful to remove it over my head and take it off. Now I'm going to tell you, when I first started wearing a corset, I couldn't take it off by myself because I didn't know how. Can you guys see me? I didn't know the proper way to take it off. It was a struggle for me. I felt like it was too tight. I didn't know what I was doing. It kept getting caught up under here. So once I actually sized down and got this smaller size, I figured out how to take it off by myself. So that's how I take it off, and it gets easier with time and with practice. And now you can see women who have larger breasts, why I told you you want to get the front bust closure, because this one's going to be hell to get off, pulling it up over your head. Okay? So that's how I put it on and take it off. Hopefully that was helpful, and if you guys have any questions, please feel free to let me know. Check out my other videos, and yeah, I will talk to you guys later when I do my update. And in the next video, I will talk to you about everything else. Hopefully this video was helpful. Thanks for watching. Bye.